So if you're trying to increase your bat speed, your exit velocity, and throw harder, you're trying to get better at the stuff that scouts actually care about, right? That means you actually need to raise your physical ability in order to do that. It's not just technique stuff. It's also what you do in the weight room has a drastic impact on your skill development. Okay, so what I'm gonna do in this video is I'm gonna take you guys through our dynamic effort lower session. Dynamic effort is explosive training. So that means we're working on the other end of the spectrum today, not maximal force, but actual maximal speed, okay? I'm gonna walk you through this workout and I'm gonna show you how to raise your physical ability so that way you can start working on increasing your bat speed, making sure you hit the ball harder, throwing the ball harder, the whole nine, okay? So we're gonna try to get explosive today. Let me walk you guys through this so that way you have a good idea on the exercises that we do, why we do them, the whole nine. I probably could have unlocked this before the video started, but. All right, so the first thing we're gonna start out with is sled walks. This is my favorite warm-up, okay? We do this all the time. Doesn't matter if it's 110 degrees outside. We do sled walks consistently. We do all sorts of sled exercises for our upper body as well, but today's dynamic effort lower, so it's gonna be prioritized on that. The reason why I like the sled so much is you can get a ton of volume in. Every step I take adds volume to this workout, okay? But I'm not doing cardio. I'm not sitting here doing long duration cardio, getting tired before I actually go do my explosive training. No, I'm just prepping my body to actually do the thing that I need to do later. So here we go. Here's the thing with sled work too. There's a particular way on how you do a sled walk. Every step I take, I'm over exaggerating and over stride, and I'm really tugging backwards with my heel. I'm making it as explosive as a step as I can. So think about this as like a speed walk on steroids, really. I'll do 4 trips here, 40 yards down and back. Some of you may be thinking, how do you progress the sled walk so you're not just pulling a 45 all the time? What I would do is every time you go to pull the sled, you can start with a 45, okay? And then, I mean, if you can't do a 45 for 4 to 6 trips of 40 to 60 yards, like you got a problem. But I would start there, and then every week, add roughly 20 to 30 pounds for the duration of 3 weeks, okay? Now here's the kicker though. You gotta time yourself when you're doing it, right? So that way, every week you have a goal, you gotta beat the time that you had the previous week with more load. So now you're working on being a little bit more explosive in your steps. You're working on a faster pace, okay? Really easy to progress. After 3 weeks, we dial it back down and then change the variation. You can do all sorts of different variations with a sled. Backward sled walks, lateral sled walks, the whole nine. There's so many variations with this. And I'm already soaking wet, man. Like I'm about ready to go right now. Your warm-ups don't need to be 30 minutes of you floating around on the damn ground doing all this yoga stuff, stretching. You just gotta get ready to go do the damn thing. That's it. All right, that's 4 trips right there. Now let's go inside. I got sumo deadlifts for speed today. So, one of the things that I'm gonna emphasize here is external rotation of the hip joint when we're going. All right, so in order to do that, I'm gonna start in this 90-90, all right? Now one of the things here is, this is also a good setup to do internal rotation. I posted a lot of content on that. But when I'm doing these, what I'm about to do to emphasize external rotation, you're also gonna get a little internal rotation benefits of it, okay? But my goal here is to do them under control so that way I can send force to these tissues. Normally what happens is guys will do this 90-90 flow stuff where they're literally just floating around. I don't want to do that, okay? I want to be in control of this. So belly button in line with this knee. What I'm going to do, my anchor point's going to be this toe. I'm going to lift this back knee up as high as I can and really get it back there, which is extremely difficult for me. I don't have the best hips in the world. Now from here, once I hit that stopping point, I'm gonna press against it for about 5 seconds. and then get to this middle ground here. Now when I'm at this middle ground, I'm gonna try to push this knee down to the ground as hard as I can. Okay, hold it for about 5 seconds once I get to that stopping point, and then get back down here to the ground on this. Now, this lead leg, I'm gonna turn like this for the camera. This lead leg, now I'm gonna do something called ENGs, eccentric neural grooving. So on this, still prioritizing external rotation of the hip socket, I'm gonna press into the ground as I take my chest to the ground, okay? Press it into the ground. And now on my way up, I'm not gonna use my hands to push me up. I'm gonna use my leg pushing into the ground to lift me up. So then I'm gonna push myself up like that, go back down, push myself up with my leg, go back down. Same thing there. Okay, there's 5 reps there. Now I'm gonna prioritize the other leg here. So same thing, as far up as we can go. That's all I got here. Trying to keep this belly button in line with the knee. 5-second push. 3, 4, 5, get here. Same thing here. Take that knee down to the ground. 4, 5, come all the way back, okay? Now, that is way different than just flowing around 90-90 flow stuff, okay? I'm making an impact here. I'm actually improving my external rotation in my hips prior to me going over and doing the main thing for the day, okay? Now I'm gonna press down. And then lift myself back up. Good. All right, last thing here, I'm gonna get my adductors right in here. So all I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna try to take this foot, press into the ground, and pull back like this. I'm gonna light this area up, okay? Notice I'm not passively stretching it. Five seconds. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get into a deeper range of motion, lengthen that adductor just a little bit more, okay? Now go again. Whew. One more time. That's all I got. That's it. I'm about ready right now. I got one more on this side. Oh, damn, this hurts. Hurts so good, you know. Last one. Oh, I feel like I'm gonna pop my butthole. Whew, there it is. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. This warm-up took what? What do we got, 10 minutes? 10 minutes. 10-minute warm-up. And I made way more strides in my mobility, getting my body temp up, getting me ready to produce the force I want to produce over on the bar in a second. So way better than spending 20 minutes flowing around. So now, regardless if I'm working on the top end of the spectrum, which is maximal force, that's usually what we do at the beginning of the week. Right now I'm working on the bottom end of the spectrum with explosive strength. Either way, it doesn't matter. You can still jump on both days, okay? So most of our guys, in the off season, they usually have a little bit more plyometrics than in season. However, it's important to keep them going year round. So these are gonna be depth jumps. My goal here is to get off the ground as fast as I can and explode up. I'm trying to get myself ready to do damage on the bar. I'm not just jumping to jump, okay? Now, elite athletes can jump anywhere 40 to 60 times a session. So I got 40 depth jumps here, which is a lot, okay? I'm choosing 40 instead of 60 just because it's a highly intensive exercise with a depth jump, okay? But I'm only going from 6 inches here, and then we're gonna hit the bar. One thing you notice is I'm stepping down. I'm not jumping off the box because it just adds a ton of volume to the workout that is not necessary. I think that was 5. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break and then get back to it. One more thing about depth jumps though. When I'm jumping, I'm not looking at the ground. I wanna respond to the ground without looking at it. When in sport, do you ever look at the ground before you do a jump, before you do a dunk, before you catch a ball? You don't look at the ground, you just gotta respond to it. So you can get a lot of that here. I'm just looking at where I wanna land. I'm not worried about the ground. As fast as I can. Oh, that was pretty good. I feel like a little Mexican jumping bean. You know, Jonathan? Yep. I don't give a shit what they like, my guy. This is for dad at the end of the day. No, I'm just joking. This is for them, but if they don't like it, they won't like it. They won't like a lot of stuff that I say in these videos. You gotta have a sense of humor, dude. If you're a square, our content will definitely not be for you, bro. Fast, fast, fast. Tip of the day, don't be a square. All right, another break.
Bro, I like punched in your face on that when you went. Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get to the bar.
No breaks, bro. Trust the weights.
No breaks, trust the weights, baby girl.
You like that?
Uh-huh. Hold on, where's... I want to get some music going in my ears. I'm sitting here with headphones in.
Yeah. You want to talk to me?
I do, but I want to get going.
I respect it.
I'm gonna...
I respect it.
I gotta show the real...
Real AJ?
The real AJ. So for dynamic effort, I'm starting with 1 plate, just get used to the bands real quick, okay? And then I'll get up to 2. I'm at 50%. I've pulled 6 in the past, so I'm probably gonna get up to close to 315. Now for me, if I move 315 against greens and it's moving extremely fast, I'm good there. But I have to remember that next week I'm gonna be at 55%. The week after that, I'm gonna be at 60%. So you gotta play with this a little bit. Like most of the athletes that come in here, they just think because they're moving fast, that's the only point to the day. They don't think about like progressive overload with dynamic effort, with speed weights, but you have to, okay? And so what they'll do is they'll just like throw a bunch of weight on the bar. It won't even be close to 50% of their max. It'll be like 60 on week 1. By the time they get to week 2 at 65%, that bar is moving slow. So you're not gonna actually progress that stimulus. Week 3, man, you have no chance. You're probably gonna do the same weight as the week before. Volume then stays the same because you're not lifting more weight, and it ends up becoming a problem. So here today, week 1, I got 12 sets of 2 at 50%. This is just a quick little warm up. I'm trying to move as fast as I can. Get it started right now. I actually don't like deadlifting in these shoes because the heel's elevated. I like flat, and I forgot my chucks, so we're here. I thought about it. I gotta do 3. Here's the difference though. I can handle 55% next week and go up from 315 against the same band tension, and I'll be all right. If I'm playing baseball and I do that on top of an off-season training load, I may not be all right. You don't need smelling salts for dynamic effort. You don't need it. Use it when you need it. I see guys in here pulling the salts out for no reason on speed lifts because they feel slow. It's like you probably just need less weight. Okay, so now my real sets are starting. I'm gonna take a 30-second break, just like I give the other guys in here. We used to do 45 seconds, but the pitch clock made things different. With dynamic effort, I wanna make sure that I'm actually getting a little bit more specific for the task at hand. So I have to, as a baseball player, I have to do an explosive bout roughly every 30 seconds, sometimes every 15. But if I pushed it down to 15 seconds, I would get less of a stimulus from this. So I want the max stimulus, but I also want to get as specific as I can to the actual sport. And the rest time that I need is going to be 30 seconds for this, okay? Now, if you do this right and you full send on these and try to move them as fast as humanly possible, it feels like conditioning after 30 seconds. But this is conditioning specific to baseball. I'm not out here running laps, okay? I'm not out here doing long duration cardio. This is an explosive bout every 30 seconds. Here we go. Whew. 30 seconds. Now, notice my left arm is actually in a more supinated grip. My right arm is pronated. This would be my throwing shoulder. I don't want to be supinated on my throwing shoulder. If an injury were to happen on a deadlift, okay? And you actually hurt something in your arm, you don't want it to be your throwing arm. You don't want to tear a bicep or something like that, aggravate the bicep tendon on your throwing arm. That's why we always just go pronated on that one, underneath on this. Speed. I'm gonna lose count. I need a chalk. Oh, shut up, Siri. I'm not talking to you. If I had a training partner right now, this would be even harder because I'd try to run him into the ground. The moment he'd be done doing his lift, I tried to get right behind him and do it again. Fast, gotta be fast. Gotta be faster than that. Also, you don't wanna be the douche that drops the weight at the top of the deadlift in between your reps. It's a mess, dude. The weights will start to get messed up. You gotta fix the weights every single set. It's miserable if you got a training partner. Don't drop the weights at the top. You just let the bar rip you down, go down the speed of gravity. Once you hit it, once you hit the ground, you're ready to go again. But you don't gotta control it. You just don't gotta drop it. I hate training next to people that drop it. That was fast. That was good. Halfway home. Halfway home. Ran into the bar a little bit on that one. Gotta take the slack out a little bit better. Fast. Come on. There you go. There you go. 8. Also, you don't need a belt on dynamic effort, but I'm not against using belts. There's a lot of people out there. I saw a post a while ago from some guy who created some formula for baseball. It's like you got to throw a certain distance, you got to reverse lunge. You don't got to do any of that shit. It's just a formula created to sell stuff. But if you use a belt, it increases intra-abdominal pressure. And it actually makes your core, the muscles in your core, obliques, the abdomen wall, like all of that actually works harder with a belt on it. So theoretically, like a belt is a very good thing to use. Now, I gotta get going here. It's about 30 seconds, and then I'll finish this conversation. Gotta be faster. We're at 8. All right, back to the belt. So if you think that not using a belt takes away from the specificity of baseball, I honestly think you're just an idiot. You've never actually lifted weight. It's just a helpful thing to use. We use belts every day on max effort. There's no reason not to use a belt when you're going for a max effort pull. Zero reason. Makes no sense. It's already 30 seconds. I feel like I'm dying a little bit. That's all right. Here we go. Whew. What a lot of people don't realize is I'm learning how to overcome inertia right now. Like me sending everything I have into this barbell, trying to move it as fast as possible, is giving me a great stimulus, even if it's only 0.7 meters per second instead of 0.8. I know 0.8 is like the gospel for strength coaches who never really lifted a weight, but you don't need to science your way out of the weight room. We don't even have Tendo units. We used to when I was a little bit more of a douchebag, but we don't have them anymore because we don't need them. Once you know bar speed, you know bar speed. Speed. Yeah, baby, that was good. That was really good for set 11 right there. I got one more. Last one. Whew. Hey, man, I'm moist. All right, less than 30 seconds. Fuck it, last one. Gotta be fast. That was good for the last set right there. That was money. Just cross that bitch off. Okay, so for accessories, my first accessory is gonna be the inverse curl. Okay, if you don't know what that machine is, it is a beast of a machine. It's my favorite machine. Targeting my hamstring, my glutes, my whole posterior chain. Okay, now the reason why I like the machine is because it allows you to do a Nordic curl way easier. Most people can't do a Nordic curl, right? So you put some load on it, it assists you. If you've ever been to a gym, like your standard commercial gym, they always have these machines where you can put your knees on for a pull-up and it assists most of your body weight while you're doing it so you can get more volume there, okay? That's what this does for the Nordic curl, which is huge. All right, baby. Whoo! Trying to control it slow on the way down. Feel a really good stretch. At the bottom, I'll bounce out of it just a little bit. Now, I have gone so violent on this that I've actually smacked my nose. Almost broke it. So I use my hands a little bit on this, but you don't really need them. Let's see. Maybe I'm just being a pussy. Whew. That was good, baby. As far as accessories are concerned, generally we do 2 to 4, depending on what's in there. So it's all about the volume and it's all about the stress. If we need more volume on an exercise, we may not have 4 accessories just because you can get extremely fatigued. But for this first exercise on accessories, I want it to be the most stressful. Okay, so putting this at the end of my workout would not make any sense. The Nordic curls for like accessory number 4, that is way too stressful of a stimulus for me to be able to do that very well at the end. I'd be too fatigued, way too fatigued. So just think order of importance, right? For us, it's warm up. You want to get prepped. You want to just remember our quick warm up is very fast. Prep the CNS to do the thing you want it to do, produce the force you want it to produce, get the body temperature up, and target specific joints that you're actually going to be using inside of the main lift, inside of the workout. So we prioritize external rotation because we had sumo deadlifts. Now, for accessories, right after the sumo deadlift, that was the most important part of the day, okay? Right before that, we did our jumps. We can't do that extremely fatigued either. And because I'm an athlete, I want to make sure that I do my jumps first most of the time. Unless we're doing like post-activation potentiation, something like that, contrast training, you can pair it up with the main thing, but yeah. Now, hardest accessory first. Whew. Real slow on the way down. Whew. It's honestly more miserable on the way down for me. That stretch is intense. Last set, coming up. All right, here we go. Fuck me. Oh. Now the deadlift was extension, hip extension, inverse curl, still prioritizing extension. Now we're gonna prioritize knee flexion, hip flexion on the belt squat. This is my favorite belt squat, by the way, Squat Max MD. The reason why I like it so much, it's a direct line of pull, so it feels different than all the other belt squat machines. It feels way better on my knees. Plus you can add band tension, which is huge. So for this accessory, I'm only doing 3 wheels against 1 band. I'm gonna see how that is. But I got 10 squats and I got 4 sets of 10 here. Good hypertrophy stimulus too. Now technically I wanna be failing on the 10th rep. I don't wanna just do 10. I want to try to move as fast as I possibly can, but I want to be straining on that 10th rep. A ton of mechanical tension on that. Oh, whoops. I need more weight. All right, so I made a mistake on the last one. Here's the thing though, if you want bigger legs, bigger tissue can provide more force. I want these things bigger. In order for you to need to do that, your body only knows stress, that's all it knows. I gotta take it to failure. I'm hoping that adding this quarter, I could do it with speed and then be dying around rep 10. If not, I'll do a couple more. 11. Yep, that was perfect. Ah, that was good. I'm sitting about 1.5 minutes, 2-minute rest on these. Trying to keep my GPP high as well. Off season, in season training is different. It wouldn't be like this in season. It'd be close. Rest times would be different though. Still gotta move fast. Hey. Come on, one more. Oh. That got me. All right, now we got some core work and some low back work. I'm gonna pair up hanging leg raises, except I'm gonna be as explosive as I can. Try to get my feet, my shins to the bar. I'm gonna use the ground to kind of pause at the bottom and go up. And then we gotta pair that up with the hyper. Also another one of my favorite machines. Whew. 8 there. Those feel different too. Massive stretch right here in the hip flexors. Really feel that at the bottom of the abs. All right, so now with the hyper, I'm gonna try to control it enough to where at the bottom, I barely see the weight right in front of me. If you're just learning it, obviously you wouldn't have this much weight on there. You kind of let it swing a little bit, just get used to the movement. But I've been doing this a while. This blows up my upper or my lower back in a good way. It's one of those hurts so good type of things. So now I'm just gonna do that 3 more times. Make sure I really blow up right around my hip flexors, right around my low back, and that'll be it for the day. One of the reasons why I wanted to do that video is because right now, the industry is completely off in my opinion. I feel like it's broken. What works on social media right now is clout exercises that are like, do this exercise to increase X amount of bat speed. Buy my exit velo program, gain 4.5 miles an hour, no matter what, if you do it. And it's like, that is completely off. It's a very short-term objective. And so what's really hard is that when we work with those high school, college guys, they're used to that. That's what they see. So then when they come into an environment like this where they got to train their ass off, and they start to realize the training effect takes a while, you got to be consistent. For them, that is a massive commitment that they don't think that they need to take because they're convinced online that it should be shorter to get to their goals than what it really is. Like, unless you are a genetic freak, it's going to take you a long time, okay? Now, granted, we do have guys that come down here for a summer and they don't play summer ball or anything because we give them live at bats and stuff like that. You know, here, and we have a great summer program where we give them meal plans, nutritional guidance, we have free supplements, everything. They have no excuse to not gain weight, and they're crushing the weight room. They're here every day. And we do have guys put on 20 pounds in the off season. But those are guys that are also genetically a little bit more advanced to be able to get that. Plus, they actually have the hormones to be able to do that. Some of you guys don't have the hormones yet, so you're too young. You're like 12 to 15 in that range, and you're crushing the weight room every day. You're doing bodybuilding splits. You're eating your ass off, but you're not getting enough in your mind to get bigger, and you're not like gaining in the way that you should. And that's just because you have a short-term thought process. Like, you don't have the hormones yet to actually pack on lean mass. So once you get there though, it takes a while. And that's why in this episode with dynamic effort, it's not so that way you just do this workout and you think, I'm going to increase my exit velo, my bat speed, I'm going to throw harder from just doing this. That's one day. We do dynamic effort tomorrow for the upper body. We do max effort lower, max effort upper at the beginning of the week. We have mobility classes that we go through. It's like, it's so much more than just a workout. It's so much more than just an exercise. So if you get anything from this content, it's the long-term approach, long-term thought process. And if you're that type of an athlete who knows that that's what you want, that's what we provide. So if you want to get with us, it's a long-term commitment. And, you know, we're not cheap by any means, because I truly believe that we are the best. But when you get with us, as long as you're consistent, you'll move up. You'll be able to do it. Check the link down in the description. Let me know if you guys like this content. We'll keep dishing it out. Thanks.